Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something which I'm really excited to film. This was actually requested on my most recent haul video, and it is a university kind of tips and just my experience really with university. I am going into second year, so I feel that I have a little bit of advice that I could possibly offer you. Not an overwhelming amount, but maybe a little bit. I hope that this video isn't too rambly. I've just jotted down a few things that I want to talk about, but nothing, this is not like a set structured video. It's just kind of me rambling and talking and giving advice and bits of information here, there and everywhere. It's not going to be really like succinct and like well done and organised. So sorry if that is a bit confusing, but I just felt like that was the most natural way to discuss my opinions and thoughts on university. Okay, so I'm sure as most of you are aware, I do go to university. I'm currently at home before I start my second year. I go to university in Nottingham. I actually go to the University of Nottingham. There are two universities there. There is Trent University and University of Nottingham. Now, if you want an entire video on that specific university and how I feel about my specific uni, I'm more than happy to film that. I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but I just have a few more general points that I feel will be more relevant to the majority of you that are either going or looking into uni or just want to know some information about it. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is actually looking around universities. Before I applied, I looked at about 4 or 5 universities, some of which I loved, others I really didn't like. Looking back on that experience now, being at university, the first thing I would say to you is don't feel that the course needs to be the most important thing on your list. That isn't something which is important. That is why you're going to university. But there are other aspects of uni life which are so important, which make up the 24 hours in the day. It's not solely your course, you know. It's where you are, if you want to be close to home or further away from home, if it has a good social, kind of scene, like if there's lots of clubs, if you're into that, if you're not into that, if there's a good student union or not, if you have like-minded people that you've met there's lots of sports, there's not lots of sports, depending on what you enjoy and what caters to you, you need to look for those sorts of things at your university. Don't solely focus on the course. Following on from that point, I just want to make a bit of a reference to my experience at university. I actually was supposed to go to university and study philosophy. I got my grades, I got on the course, I went there to do philosophy. I actually started my degree, and about 2 weeks into it, had a major breakdown, panicked because it wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy the course, I didn't enjoy the structure of the lectures, I didn't really get on that well with the people in my classes. They just didn't seem like people that I would socialise with and get along with. So I was really stressed. I felt like I was going to drop out of uni and I was just panicking so much. Now, if this situation happens to you, don't panic, just chill. Honestly, it's hard to decide a whole year before or 2 years before even. I'm not sure when the application process is. It feels like forever ago for me. It's hard to decide then what you're going to want to be doing in a year's time. We change our minds, that's completely normal. And what you do in sixth form or college or what have you might not be what you want to end up doing at uni. The course might be completely different when you get there or not how you expected. So just don't panic. I know that my university was really good about this. I cannot speak for all unis. However, I do feel like nowadays the whole uni experience and getting into university has changed. Now that fees have gone up, I feel almost like the universities want you. They, at the end of the day, want your application. They want your £9 a year. They want you to be there. Whereas before, I think there was like a influx of so many students that they had the pick of the best. And I'm not saying you're not the best, I'm just saying I think that's been narrowed. So if you want to go there, they're going to want you. So I panicked when I didn't enjoy my course and I thought they're going to throw me out. That's not what happened. I spoke to people on my course of philosophy and my new course, which I currently do now, and that is American and Canadian Studies. Again, I can do an entire video on my course. I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy that I did change it. Things have really worked out for the best. Yes, just that's a little bit of advice for you there. Don't panic too much about, the course, and things will work out the way they're meant to work out. Hey everyone, sorry about that. My battery decided it just wanted to die, so I had to charge it for a bit. So yeah, that's just the first thing that I would say in respect to courses and things like that. don't panic. I feel like schools, my school anyway, I loved my sixth form, but I do feel like they want you to get into the best university. They want the best results for their, you know, school. They want to say at the end of the year, X amount went here, we got this set of results, whatever the case may be. So all they care about really is results and, you know, the top of the top uni, I guess. So just don't panic, because when you get there, they will help you. Honestly, I felt that anyway, where I go to uni, they were just so helpful with me when I wanted to change my course. No one ever even mentioned me having to do another year or like resit the year or reapply. That never even came out of anyone's mouth when I was stressed about changing course, so don't panic. The next thing I'm going to talk about is distance from home. I feel like you need to think about this, and I feel like it's something I didn't really think about that much. When I looked at universities, I never considered the distance from home. I don't know why, I just looked at uni, knew I wasn't going to be living at home, so that wasn't really an issue. However, I feel like if you are a home bird, if you are someone that likes their home space, likes being at home, I'm one of those people. I'm no shame in admitting that. You know, I love my car, I have my car here, I love that I have my food cooked for me and my room, and everything I guess is done for you at home. And I do like company at home. I feel, I don't know, it's not cold, it's warm. And in some ways, when I went to uni, I came home a lot in first year, a hell of a lot. That was partly to do with I have a boyfriend who lives at home, and I was obviously up in Nottingham, so I came back to see him, but I also just came back purely because I wanted to come home and I missed it. I remember this one time he came to visit me and he'd been there for about 4 hours, and I just looked at him and said, can we go home? Like, and we got on a train and went home, and he'd come all the way to see me. So I feel in some respects that I am one of those people who just enjoys being at home. If you feel like you are one of those people, don't go to university in Scotland. You know, look, if you really like the uni, then maybe that's the thing you want to like consider, but it is going to make an impact. You know, luckily for me, I'm about 2.5 hours away from home, so I can do that journey across a weekend, and it's fine. It doesn't even affect me. I don't even think about the journey. However, if you're doing a 4-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour journey up and down the country, wherever you may be, and you want to come home often, that's really going to be a hassle. So just think about that when you're looking at universities. The next thing I'm going to talk about is gap years. Now, I don't have that much advice on taking a gap year because unfortunately I did not take one. So this is just advice on a gap year from someone that hasn't taken one. But you know, maybe I'll say some wise words that you will think, oh, I need to listen to that. The thing about gap years, I feel, is that I think for some people they can be really beneficial. I think for some people they need that break, they need that space between A-levels or their BTECs or whatever it is and university to just have a break and a rest from all that work. You know, my A-levels were probably one of the most stressful exam periods ever, and I've done first year of uni and I still look back on my A-levels and they were unbelievably stressful. So yeah, just give yourself a break if you feel you need one. However, if you feel that by taking a break you might not go, maybe go travelling when you're done with uni, or in a few years time, or you know, before you get married or something. You know, maybe doing that before going to university, and if it's going to prolong that experience by a lot, maybe it's not for you. However, I have friends of mine that did a gap year and absolutely loved it, and they're going to university this year and they had the best year, and I'm really jealous. So do what feels right for you. You know, if you have parents that are telling you not to do it, I feel like that's unfair. You've worked hard, you've you know, shown that you're capable of getting the results. Why not have a year off? You can even defer your place these days, you know. You can apply somewhere and say, hang on a minute, I want to defer my place for next year, is that alright? And you know, that most of the time, hopefully, they're going to say, yeah, it's fine, we want you as a student at our university, whether it's this year or next. So that's something definitely to consider, gap years, I feel. A quick chat now about first year. I have finished my first year. I'm about to go into second year. First year for me was living in halls, and it was catered and it was on campus. Now I know that for each university this is completely different. I have a friend of mine that went to Nottingham Trent and she was not in halls, she was in a flat and had the best time, and it is dependent on where you are. I did not enjoy halls. I enjoyed the university in my first year. I really enjoyed the people that I met. They are some of my really good friends. They always will be some of my really good friends, and I loved my course. However, halls for me felt a bit claustrophobic, a bit antisocial, just purely because it's a corridor of rooms and we didn't have a kitchen to prepare meals. We were catered for in a big dining room, so it's slightly like boarding school. So that's why I feel like for me first year wasn't the best. I think I'm going to be so much happier next year because I'm going to have a living room, I'm going to have a kitchen, I'm going to have space to breathe. It's going to be a house and I'm going to have my car, so I will feel more independent. I think that was the issue for me. I felt restricted a little bit in first year. Following on from talking about first year, a thing that I want to quickly mention is freshers. Now, freshers, that happens for most universities in the UK, I believe, and they go on for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 sometimes. I'm not really sure how your uni works. Mine was a week, maybe a little bit over a week. And it almost starts like the first night that you get there, and you have reps or people in charge that plan nights out. That either like advertise on Facebook, or you hear about them through your university, whatever it may be. You need to go to those events. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Look, even if you do not enjoy clubbing that much or going out, I feel like the first week of university is the week where it's completely acceptable to talk to anyone. You know, I spoke to people in my first week that I don't necessarily speak to now, but that doesn't mean that I regret speaking to them. I'm so happy that I went out and did loads of stuff on freshers, because I feel like if I didn't, it would have really hindered my opportunity to meet people. I found it really overwhelming, and I think a lot of students find it overwhelming, but will never admit that they find it overwhelming. I think people are just a bit, I don't know, they don't want to just be honest and say, I was actually really overwhelmed by freshers. I was, you know, I had come from an area where there was like one club really in our area. You know, I'd been clubbing before, I'd been to London and clubbing and things like that, but going to a student city, a student town, it is completely different for me anyway, because I'm not from a student area. There are 2 big universities in Nottingham, so you know, the city centre is full of students on a night out, and we were the babies in first year. You know, I was 18 in freshers, during freshers, so I was really young, and there were all these older people. You know, some people go to university at 23, 24 and upwards, so I was a bit like, this is really overwhelming. I'm with a ton of people that I don't actually know, we're all drinking, this is loud and rowdy, but even though it's overwhelming, it was still one of the best weeks ever. I don't regret my freshers week at all. I think a lot of people go crazy on freshers and get really drunk and really out of control, and I feel like that actually doesn't help them, because then everyone thinks that they're the crazy one and you don't want to end up looking after them on a night out, so people kind of distance themselves from those people. So just be aware on your freshers week, you want to have fun, but don't do anything ridiculously crazy, because people might be like, that's the crazy person, just, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to mention really quickly about university is that it's not for everyone. I feel like when I was in sixth form, we were not even given any other options. We were just told about university. I feel that's really unfair. I think there are other options. There are apprenticeships, jobs, you know, intern things. There's so many things that you can do which don't require you to go to university. I don't feel like you need a degree in order to be successful. That doesn't necessarily always equate. You know, there are so many people that have been so successful and have not gone to university, so don't feel that in order to do an amazing job you have to have a degree. However, if you're unsure about what you want to do, maybe give it a go. That's kind of what I've ended up doing. I still don't know what I want to be or what I want to do, but I still feel that I'm young. I'm 19 years old. I'm in my second year of university. I'm gonna do an apprenticeship. I'm gonna do some sort of work experience at some point. Maybe that will broaden my horizons. There are people that you can talk to which will help you so much with this sort of stuff at uni. So if you're not sure about what you want to do, even if you're in third year, doing a master's, whatever, don't stress. There will be someone that you can speak to about this. If you guys want a video on my actual course, I'm more than happy to film that, just let me know. Or if you want it on any other subjects about university, let me know, I'm more than happy to film. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that I gave some half decent advice, even though I know this video was so rambly and not very organised, but there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!